Welcome to the second battle of the round 2 of my Terminator tournament against Skinnyblack. So I won my Arvasi fight, just barely. And now because like I picked Galatia. I like their heavy naked warriors. Pretty interesting. Not a lot of armor. They do have 4 javelins, so that's pretty good. 800 men, and they're highly aggressive. Very good charge also. So yeah, I picked Galatia mostly because of them. I was pretty much interested to see. The Galatian Tsuruosi spears are also a little bit better than a regular Tsuruosi. Let's pause it. Yeah, this battle is much quicker. So I took some Galatian slingers again. Pretty good concept, anti-cavalry. I have some Galatian medium cavalry, not the best, but it's cheaper. And then I have some lighter cavalry as well. So I have like one heavy and one light cavalry unit for each side, and it because the lighter cavalry still have pretty high defense, and I sort of I want to have enough spears so I can support my cavalry, and I still have slingers on the wings. I have, of course, this serious is to take all the javelins here if I can do it. Then I have these highly aggressive sword units that I want to use to break or charge into the enemy heavy infantry to tie his heavy infantry down. Then I want to try to win on the wings with my naked warriors. That was sort of the idea. I have some Galatian archers here just because I want to have something a little bit more range, something to if he would have brought some javelin men, and I can, or if he brought slingers of his own, maybe the cheaper slingers. And he has some Cretan archers and he has some Nubian archers. But I wanted to have something to contest missiles so I could maybe pick my engagement better. But I have my heavily armored Durosi up front. There's some slingers and then my naked warriors here. So my naked warriors are still kept relatively safe. But again, it's still deployment phase, so anything can happen. He has some Thracian light cavalry here. Now, this is not a unit you see a lot. Or I haven't seen this unit a lot, though, in a multiplayer. It's usually the Sarissa Foroi, which is Sarissa Lancers, 120 men, with a better charge. He has some Carrion Levies here, and pretty cheap spear units, but still bonus versus cavalry. Ptolemy Swordsman is absolutely fantastic for a light Hellenistic infantry unit. These men are very good. He has some Galatian spear warriors. They're shock spears pretty much. Have a high charge. Come on, man. Join your brothers. Why are you fighting your brothers? Some Cretan infantry here, and this is sort of like a wrong pick from his. Um, good stats overall. A little bit more armor, the same armor as this one really, but a little bit more weapon damage, but less armor piercing. This was a wrong choice sort of thing. Yes, the sturdy center with the legionaries, 4 units of them. 2 Nubian archers, better range than mine, and a Cretan archer with a very high rate of fire and high damage. And then it's Cretan infantry, Galatians, and then some, Galatian mercenary spearmen. Now these men are very good, 300 men, but also expensive for Egypt. 26 charge and good charge. So I said, yeah. Here he got some Mysian cavalry units, which have a lot of javelin damage. But the morale is pretty low. Let's start the battle again. High formation, the Tirosians start to take the javelins and start the battle. Galatians are to weaken up the lighter infantry with their precursors before they charge. Slingers are for anti-cavalry. Archers are to harass, and then cavalry. The lighter cavalry has pretty high charge, so I sort of wanted them to absorb or make the first charge. They actually have shields, and these men do not. And these heavier cavalry of mine are more anti. Well, okay, they do have shields, but they're more anti-infantry, not anti-cavalry. That's where the light cavalry comes in. They're actually anti-cavalry, some bonus versus that. So my plan is to sort of let the infantry fight and then just hold the cavalry off. Because I know, like, it may be even in the center. He may have better infantry in the center. His weakness is still on the flanks. His infantry is not sturdy enough. So I want to sort of move up my precursors here so I can weaken the health of the infantry first. So I will get an easier breakthrough once it starts. I move up here and I want to get his archers here. It's a higher value for me to kill off some archers than to just hurl at a heavily armored unit. And then have these men. This is my weakness, is that my chosen swordsmen do not have a precursor. Makes it also simpler. But you can see all the javelins here going into these creepers. These men are severely weakened up. I charge in here to tie down the Carians. And then I move up here. I notice that this cavalry is very far away. He doesn't really, well, it's still pretty risky. I still have to take a charge, but I wanted to be aggressive, so I took it. I could have maybe gone for this unit, but I decided to make a charge on against the Atomic Swordsmen because they are still scary. And they would have been less scary if they actually got weakened up a little bit before I charged. So that's why I did it. I did lose one cavalry, but 2 cavalry units there, so it was still pretty bad. Try to keep an eye here on the Mysians. But again, I can't really counter these Mysians because they're faster than me. I could chase after them, but why would I do that? Here I place my lighter cavalry up front first, and I look away here because I'm sort of managing everything else. I don't see his cavalry charging. You can see I'm doing well over here. I'm looking over here and trying to keep an eye here. I'm over here once this charges in here. Fortunately, my cavalry formation was such that they couldn't charge both my cavalry units at the same time. But he has a free spear unit over here, so here he has the edge. Unfortunately, it's my lighter cavalry units here that is taking the damage. His general is forced to charge in here, as I had a breach here as the Cretans ran. So I get in my Galatians naked warriors here. They are pretty vulnerable to cavalry. Here I made a risky. If he had simply charged this whilst I was doing this, he would have done. He could have trapped this unit and then just gone around with the other cavalry unit and then flanked and killed off this unit. He didn't. I charge in here, so I need to still pin this unit in. I have my big general unit over here now, but the Carians are still here and they're doing a lot of work on the cavalry unit, but I have to fix this. Uh-oh. My slingers are very vulnerable. I got a good charge over here against these Galatian spears and I need to retreat out of here. He gets a good charge on my slingers here. I concentrate all the archers. Yeah, I want to weaken up the cavalry. I'm pretty confident in my infantry, but it's the cavalry. I sort of need to pin down his units. I simply shoot a lot of missiles into this lighter cavalry unit, trying to pin it down. But he can easily shatter my units here, and then I wouldn't have the. I managed to rout these Mysians, but that was lucky. He could have shattered one of my slingers, and that would have denied me a lot of ammunition in case of a clutch. Here I charge in here. This unit is pretty low morale. It managed to stabilize a little bit, but then I get a good charge in, and my units are heavier than this, so he suffers more here. And my cavalry actually returned. Very few numbers now, but they returned. I have some slingers available as well. So yeah, like the infantry fight is going pretty well for Galatia, for me. towards Galatia. I'm moving in this cavalry back now. As long as he's committed and trapped in a fight, I managed to break these light cavalry here. That demoralizes these units over here, because you get demoralized if you rout. These Galatian Ptolemaic levies, well, these Galatian spearmen have also been doing very well, but the naked warriors also, they're killing each other. That's sad to see. The Carian levies routes, I'm not sure exactly why they routed. Maybe because other units routed, so I managed to break this lighter Trajan cavalry as well. I shoot at it with my slingers. This Nisaean cavalry, I popped the war cry, which demoralizes the unit. I sort of, but the Egyptian general is still here. He still has this, and now so I sort of peel off the Furiosi, because you see I'm pretty dense into the black here with 2 spears that I don't need here. So I retreat one of the spearmen to charge against the lighter cavalry of the Egyptians. He has committed his general a lot to the fight. I'm still shooting his cavalry here with my slingers. I'm doing some bit of damage to them. But here he managed to trap. Okay, it was his cavalry unit there. Yeah, I pepper his. We weaken up his cavalry, but he wins over here due to his general over here. But I'm just pouring in as much fire into these men. And all of a sudden, what the hell happened? It doesn't look as. It still has his archers over here. That's scary for me. I don't know if he still has ammunition. So I will have to risk health on my cavalry. But I managed to break these Carians. Freeze up these naked warriors here. And I'm going to keep fighting and keep shooting at these units, as I don't want them to have cavalry. Here I'm just sort of waiting a little bit because I want to see if he...
Get running!
But here I decide to charge. And then I have this cavalry going in. Well, he has these Galatians blocking. And then I just try to charge in. Manage to break this unit. Gonna charge in here. Yeah, these Galatians, Pyrrhus, the spears are pretty healthy. And then I have the naked warriors over here with 239 kills. Pretty good. And then we charge in here. We shattered the Galatian lighter spearman unit. The general died right there. Well, he survived a little bit longer, but the army loss kicks in now. And Galatia won here. So yeah, the build worked pretty well. Having these defensive spearmen take more, more survivable spearmen take the javelins and then pin units down. Also heavy infantry did the same, and then my support spears, shock spears with high attack. A lot of precursors, but I wanted to make sure that I used the precursors first before I charged them in. These cavalry units did well, but unfortunate also that I didn't have the cavalry in a line, so that he only charged the lighter cavalry. But unfortunately I didn't see it, so I could have charged them. That would have been preferable. Yeah, it was also a good battle here against Skinnyblack. I think the army was solid, but it should have had more Ptolemaic spearmen or those Clurox Falksmen. The Clurox Falksmen have a better charge than the Ptolemaians swordsmen, but less survivable. The Ptolemaic swordsmen are have great defense and armor compared to Arturo's spearmen. Granted, you don't have the precursors of the, but yeah, there's a pretty full roster, but the Cretans was a mistake. So I would say put more Ptolemaic swordsmen or Kirok's Volksman there to fill in the lines, but if he could feel risky, he could have taken the Royal Peltast and tried to. But again, he doesn't really know what I would bring. So, but he had a lot of spears still for cavalry support. So, yeah, good game. Bye.